CTV News at 5 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for being with us on this Friday, March 20th. A crash involving two transport trucks closed a portion of Highway 11 in both directions Thursday. OPP say the collision happened between Highway 64 and Martin River and Highway 65 in New Liskeard around 10 a.m. Police say one person was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The highway reopened shortly before 10 last night. A collision in Sault Ste. Marie yesterday shut down Second Line East. Police say the incident happened between Pine Street and Black Road. The road was partially closed as crews cleaned up debris, but it reopened shortly before 7 p.m. Now to the weather and more snow for the region on this, the first day of spring. For more details, let's bring in CTV's Rick Wyman. Rick.
Well, it's on again, off again. We had snow. We had the 5 to 10 centimeters for the most part in Greater Sudbury. Overnight last night, everyone woke up and said, okay, Rick, what's going on here? Bit of a break in the action, but more of the same right across the Northeast for tomorrow evening. Snow late during the day and, of course, continuing through the night, about 5 to 10 centimeters again. So when you wake up Sunday, don't be surprised. Spring is back. But, Tony, is it any different than winter? It looks pretty well the same. Your first take on weather brought to you by CAA. Get your membership today at caa.ca. Details on the 5-day forecast coming up, Tony.
Thanks for that, Rick. The coroner is investigating a second death this week at a homeless encampment in Sudbury. Police say a 43-year-old man was pronounced dead at Energy Court yesterday. Emergency crews were called to the site around 10:30 a.m. Thursday. The coroner's office is expected to conduct a post-mortem to determine a cause of death, but police say foul play is not suspected. There's no indication the death is related to the recent weather event. Another person died at the encampment late Tuesday evening. While motorists across the north are watching the numbers climb at the pump, small businesses say the rising cost of fuel is becoming a real challenge for their operations. CTV's Amanda Hicks has more from Sudbury.
It's not just motorists in Sudbury who are feeling the pressure at the pumps. Prices are still trending high despite a dip of 2 cents overnight.
I think it's quite high and it's skyrocketing.
The impact is also being felt among small businesses, according to the Canadian Federation of Independent Business.
50% of them say fuel prices, once again, are a cause for concern in terms of the costs that their operations have to manage. Imagine that much change in 1 month means the fuel prices aren't a small thing. And why is that? Well, because it's part of the supply chain. We're all going to feel it at some point in time.
It's a feeling shared among the rideshare industry. Northern Ontario's own U-Ride says the increases have been especially challenging for their drivers.
We added a gas surcharge that goes 100% to the drivers. So it's $1 per trip across all Ontario markets at the moment. And so, yeah, that's something we're doing right now and we're closely monitoring. So again, hopefully for everyone's sake, the prices drop.
Gas analyst Dan McTagg says for Northern Ontario, part of the price hike is simply the cost of getting the fuel here.
Fuel has to be brought in from the Toronto region, up here to Sudbury and to the northeastern parts of Ontario. And so what would usually be a 3-cent hit for retailers who have to buy it could be as much as a 4 or 5 cent a litre increase.
McTagg expects prices to rise a few cents this weekend. He adds the bigger picture involves the conflict in the Middle East, saying the longer that remains uncertain, the more we'll feel the pinch when the switch to summer gas hits in April. Amanda Hicks, CTV News, Sudbury.
As public works crews work to clear snow from roads across Greater Sudbury, workers from another city department are doing the same thing for critical infrastructure needed by fire services. CTV's Angela Gemmell reports.
These volunteer firefighters make quick work of shoveling snow away from a fire hydrant. They've been busy over the past few days.
Obviously, there's a lot of competing priorities with snow removal right now. So anything fire services can do to help out the community, help out the city. And this is one big portion that we're doing is by attempting to uncover all of these fire hydrants.
Moline came to visit the crew to thank them for their hard work. Greater Sudbury Fire Services has asked its career and volunteer firefighters to do the the same thing in their own neighborhoods.
In a fire, especially structure fires, every minute counts. So it's very crucial that that hydrant is, number one, you can observe where it is and it is accessible for the crews to do, as it may cause delays which could cause further damage to the structure and potentially if there is a rescue or evacuation required.
Meanwhile, 2,300 fire hydrants in Sault Ste. Marie are the responsibility of PUC Services, which try to keep them accessible in all types of weather. A spokesperson says it's hard to say how many need to be cleared after Monday's storm.
It is a continuous process throughout the winter, and also that's because weather conditions, such as drifting, new snowfall, frequently require crews to revisit previously cleared locations. So that's why it's difficult to get that specific number.
Despite fire crews in Sudbury working diligently to expose hydrants, Malene asks residents to do their part to help.
We never know when a fire is going to happen, so we'll need those access. Every second counts, so it's critical that they are exposed.
With 6,300 fire hydrants across the entire city of Greater Sudbury, Malene estimates it could take between 2 to 3 weeks to expose them all. But he also adds that so far they haven't been to a fire call where the nearest hydrant was buried under snow. Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Garson.
And Greater Sudbury police had a warning of snow removal scams. In a social media post, police say they're receiving reports of individuals offering snow removal services online. The scammers require partial payment up front, then don't show up to do the work. Police are reminding the public to be cautious of unsolicited offers and avoid paying up front. It's time for a quick break. Coming up on CTV News at 5. Rick has your full weather forecast, but first, we're heading to Whitney near Algonquin Park. This live webcam is courtesy of the Friends of Algonquin Park. It's -2 Celsius. We're back in a few minutes.
Pure Country 91.7. Sudbury's home for the best country music. Listen for your chance to win $50,000 with Pure Country's big $50K payday.
It's the weekend. Here we go with a day off from snow and more snow in the forecast for tomorrow. Forecast radar, here we go, right through the northeast. For the most part, it's going to start late tomorrow afternoon and continue into the evening with about 5 to 10 centimeters, maybe with the exception of Timmins with just a couple of centimeters. But that's our story pretty well for tomorrow. We'll get to Sunday in just a moment here. Sudbury Nickel Belt. Snow tomorrow, 5 to 10 centimeters, mostly at night, so late afternoon, early evening, and -1 your high, -2 on Sunday with a chance of flurries. Monday, some cloud cover, -3. Chance of flurries on Tuesday at 0 and -5. The sunshine returns to Sudbury Nickel Belt on Wednesday. How about the Sioux and Algoma? 5 centimeters during the day, 2 centimeters at night, 0 your expected high. Cloud cover Sunday at +1, -2 on Monday. We've got sunny skies. Tuesday, chance of flurries at 2 degrees and -4, some sun and cloud come Wednesday. A look now at Timmins Cochrane campus. Casing snow tomorrow, 5 to 10 centimeters. Of course, beginning late afternoon, early evening, -2 your expected high, -4 Sunday. Cloud cover Monday, some sun and cloud, -3. Chance of flurries on Tuesday, -2 and -9 with the sunshine. So a comparable forecast throughout most of northeastern Ontario over the course of the next 5 days. And by the way, that cooler trend will jettison in come late Sunday afternoon, continuing Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, as you can see by the evening temperatures. So some cooler nights coming. Temiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake. Snow tomorrow, we've got 5 to 10 centimeters at night, 0 your expected high. Sunday, chance of flurries, -3, -2 on Monday at sun and cloud. Tuesday, 70% chance of flurries. You know what that means, more snow coming. -2 your daytime high. And Wednesday, sunny skies with a high of only -7, -16, and -18, -15 your evening lows starting Monday. So some cooler nights to kick off the week. Next week, as life gets back to normal for the kids, they're back in school. North Bay, West Nipissing, snow tomorrow beginning in the evening, 5 to 10 centimeters. And again, high of only 0, -1 on Sunday, chance of flurries. Monday, cloud cover -2, chance of flurries again on Tuesday at 70%, high of 0, -6 come Wednesday with sun and clouds. So, Tony, here we go. One day on, one day off. We've got some snow in the forecast for tomorrow. We'll get through that and we'll see some better days ahead starting on Sunday. Back to you.
Thank goodness for that. Thanks, Rick. The Federal Minister of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship was in Sudbury celebrating International Francophone Day. CTV's Madison Merrier has more on her announcement.
Lena Metlaj-Diab joined MP Vivian Lapointe to announce funding in attracting Francophone people to Northern Ontario.
This program supports concrete initiatives that help communities attract more Francophone talent from outside Quebec and grow Francophone minority communities. $1.5 million.
Funding will be separated into 3 programs. Francophone global talent mapping to attract workers to Canada to meet labor market needs, a pathway for students at Université de Hearst to settle in Canada post-studies, and a program to help inform and prepare Francophone immigrants.
Sudbury was selected as one of 13 communities all across Canada to be a welcoming community, une communauté accueillante, which means that we attract and get special programs for French-speaking, les nouveaux arrivants, French-speaking newly arrived Canadians.
We have seen quite decent growth in Francophone immigration in Sudbury in the last few years, both like in terms of services available to newcomers and to the number of newcomers. Just last year in 2025, there was 480 new permanent residents Francophone in Sudbury.
The 3 new programs fall under the Francophone Immigration Support Program, with the goal of countering the decline of Francophone minority communities outside of Quebec.
We know that especially in rural areas of Northern Ontario, that immigration is linked to prosperity. You have communities of mayors that want to grow the population. They want to address skill shortages and gaps in those in that workforce. So immigration is key to that.
There's numerous programs, and it's been years that there's some efforts. The first target from the federal government actually dates back more than 20 years. But for long, we didn't have a lot of progress. It's in the last few years that we saw a huge increase in numbers.
Madison Merrier, CTV News, Sudbury.
The Nipissing Social Services Board is working towards 4 new early-stage housing development projects. The board was able to secure seed loan funding from the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation. The money will be used for essential pre-construction work. Locations include 365 Lakeshore Drive in North Bay, Manitou Street in North Bay, 70 Principal Street East in Verner, and 6 Gale Airy Lake Road in Whitney. The board chair is hoping these projects will start soon.
A lot of it depends on the Housing Accelerator Fund from the federal government, and obviously last week they were debating that in Ottawa. If in fact those housing dollars come forward, then those projects could actually take off.
And work through this funding may include environmental assessments, geotechnical studies, site investigations, and other technical and planning work. Impressive performance coming up on CTV News at 5. The North Bay Battalion reeled in the Brampton Steelheads on home ice last night.
Hockey This Week is brought to you by Rastall Nut and Bolt Company. We're back with more Hockey This Week, and who better than Mark Seidel, Director of Player Personnel for the Windsor Spitfires, to give us his insight into the Northern matchups and some great matchups. Mark, thanks for dropping by. Let's begin with the Sault Greyhounds and the London Knights. Depending on home ice advantage heading into the final weekend, this looks like the best of the 3 matchups.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a phenomenal series. I think, London's London. They've sold off some of their stars this year, but Dale Hunter's still coaching them. They're still going to be a tough team and a tough out in the playoffs. But, I think the Sioux went and get Carter George. They got the best goalie probably in Canada. And they've got some stars there. So I think, I think London will be a challenge, but I think the Sioux will probably win it in 6 games.
Chase Reed on defense for the Greyhounds. Will he be the difference maker, at least defensively and maybe offensively as well? He can generate some good O.
Yeah, certainly. I think the London Knights will get sick of seeing him because he's probably going to play 25 minutes a night at least. Phenomenal story came out, actually got cut by a USHL team, ended up going up to the Sioux, and people may be shocked to hear this, but he has a chance to go #1 overall. Certainly, I think he's going to go third, but he'll go top 5 overall guaranteed. So a phenomenal player that's really developed, and I think is a star for them. And then Brady Martin is going to be the star up front. So I think the Sioux is loaded up and ready to beat London, and I think they will.
Series number 2, North Bay and, of course, the Peterborough Petes. Depending on, again, who gets home ice advantage, this one looks like it could go 6 or 7. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think so. One of the metrics I use, and I'm not a big analytic guy, but like sort of is a plus-minus goals for and against over the year. And, like North Bay is a +14, Peterborough is a -3. So, what that tells me is that, I think North Bay should be favored. I think they'll win the series as well. Both teams are quality teams, but they're not championship type teams. So, it could be a rough series. Peterborough can get a little nasty at times, and North Bay isn't going to back down at all either. And North Bay's young, so I think the key is this year to try and win the series, get some experience, and then going into next year, they're ready to take a challenge, try and challenge for the cup.
Will goaltending be the deciding factor? Because we've seen some great games and some not so great games.
Yeah, as you know, Rick, I mean, the goaltending is the most important position, on any team. And I think both teams have good goaltending. But like you say, they have had some bad nights. But, I think North Bay's goaltending, their systems, their back end, everything is better. And I think ultimately they'll win and move on to the second round.
Okay, looks like the Sudbury Wolves are going to wind up playing Brantford. Is this just one of those series where Brantford's just going to steamroll the Wolves, or do the Wolves have any hope of maybe winning 1, 2, or 3 games in this series?
It's junior hockey, Rico. I mean, it's a case of these are 17, 18, 19-year-old kids, so you never know. But, I talked about the plus-minus in the last series. I mean, Brantford is a +107, Sudbury's a -50. So, again, that tells me that the chances are it's certainly going to be a tough series for Sudbury. Can they win a game or two? For sure. I mean, could they win the series theoretically? Yeah, they've actually played Brantford pretty well this year, but Brantford just loaded up with stars. They've got their set sight on winning the league championship. So it'll be tough for Sudbury, but I think the games will certainly be entertaining, and you never know. I think they could win a game or two for sure.
Mark Seidel, Director of Player Personnel with the Windsor Spitfires. I'll see you at the rink. We're back with more hockey this week to wrap up the season next week.
Thanks for that, Rick. Still with the Ontario Hockey League and a look at last night's game in North Bay.
Callie with room, a 2-on-1 emerging. Callie with a move, he scores!
Ryder Callie would net the first goal of the game just 4 minutes in, and it would be the game winner. The North Bay Battalion blank the Brampton Steelheads 7-zip. This evening, the troops march on Brantford looking for another win against the Bulldogs. The battalion are in a heated battle with the Peterborough Petes for points in this final weekend with hopes of home ice advantage for the playoffs. The Steelheads will be in Sudbury tonight to face off against the Wolves, and puck drop at the Sudbury Community Arena is 7:05. And the Sioux Greyhounds will be looking to crush the Spirits of Saginaw tonight after losing to the Spirit earlier in the week. The rematch begins at 7:07 at GFL Memorial Gardens. In the NOJHL, playoff season has already begun. Last night, the Sudbury Cubs and Kirkland Lake Gold Miners faced off in Game 1 of their quarterfinal matchup. No scoring in the first, but the Cubs would bury the Gold Miners 9-1 in the remaining 2 periods. Kirkland Lake will be looking to rebound tonight in Game 2 at TM Davies Arena in Lively at 7 p.m. The 3 other quarterfinals kick off tonight. The Sioux Thunderbirds are in Timmins to take on the Rock in Game 1 action, while the Sioux Eagles touch down in Powassan to face the Voodoos. And the Espanola Paper Kings will play their playoff opener against the Hearst Lumberjacks. All games start at 7 p.m. The Sioux College Cougars said goodbye to Division II hockey last night in style. These women made history yesterday, winning their 4th national title, making the Cougars the winningest team in ACHA Division II hockey. They shut out Manitoba's Assiniboine College 1-0 in the final. The Cougars will play Division I hockey starting next season. Laurentian University's MacEwan School of Architecture has a creative and educational display at Bell Park. First-year students have designed and built ice stations. The original idea was for the structures to be on Ramsey Lake skating path, but it's closed due to weather conditions. One structure is called Duck, and we talked to students about the concept and design.
It's kind of like, it's double entendre. I mean, you have to duck to get through it, but then we also made it kind of like wings feathering together like a duck wing.
We originally planned for it to be on the ice, so the whole point was to plan it around water, the park. So then we started off with our first idea about waves, then that transformed into more wings like ducks, and then that's where we pretty much got our idea, duck, and also that you have to duck under it as well.
The idea behind the school was that we would really be able to somehow contribute to the community. And so when this project was initiated, probably 12, 13 years ago now, the idea was that we would design something for the public, right? So that the public could be a part of the education of the students and experience something that the students are making.
5 structures will be on display in Bell Park over the next 2 weeks. A lot is happening this weekend when we return our community close-ups. You're watching First at 5. Our first community close-up comes to us from North Bay. A charity hockey game is happening tomorrow evening at Longyear Memorial Gardens. The contest pits the North Bay Police Association versus the North Bay Fire Department. It's in memory of Chat for Chad, Chad Ringler, a former firefighter. Admission is a non-perishable food item or a donation to help out the North Bay Food Bank. To Sudbury, and a reminder that Lockerbie Legion's Porchetta Bingo has been rescheduled for Sunday, March 22nd. It was supposed to happen on St. Patrick's Day, but was postponed because of the weather. It runs from 1 p.m. until 4 at Branch 564. And we're off to Seguin Township near Perry Sound. Tracy says deer come 3 times a day to feed in her yard. What a great picture, Tracy. Thanks so much. And if you have any pictures, videos, or events you'd like us to showcase, you can email them to us at communitycloseup@bellmedia.ca. And finally, a major win for food insecurity in Sudbury as a favorite fundraiser wrapped up at the new Sudbury Centre. The annual Camping for Cans event is a 10-hour live radio event organized by Pure Country 91.7. The community stepping up to give more than 600 non-perishable items and close to $5,000, which all goes to the Sudbury Food Bank. And there's more news for the North coming up at 6. For now, continue watching as we hand things over to CTV National News.